So the smoker's been running for about 40 minutes now, the smoke generator. Had to do some adjustments here. I was getting way too much air in through the bottom, which made that really hot. So I tried to close that off as best I could, just as an experiment here, trying to figure out what would be the best way to close off the bottom of it. As you can see, it looks like it's doing a really good job. I do have some condensation coming out. That seems to have slowed down now that the tube that has the wood chips in it has cooled down some, because it's not getting as much air and it's not running as hot. So I'm just going to go ahead. I filled this tube up with hickory chips. They're fairly coarse hickory chips. And I'll show you. So they're a real coarse hickory chip for smoking. I started it with a torch. Maybe took 5 seconds of fire on the bottom of it. And it's been running ever since. Like I said, it's been 40 minutes now, so I'm just going to let this thing go and see how long I can get smoke coming out of it with that tube right there. It's about 12 inches long, 4 inches in diameter. We'll see how long this will burn. So this has been burning for an hour and 45 minutes now. I moved the temperature gauge up to the top of the column, and as you can see that it's running at about 125 degrees. It was 300 down here towards the bottom where the fire pot is, but it's cooled off significantly up here at the top. And I would assume if I doubled that space and made it 2 foot, that it would even cool down even more, and I may not have the condensation coming out of my smoke tube right here. Now that's going to be quite corrosive coming out of there, so I may think about doing this out of stainless steel just for the corrosiveness of it, but I'll see how it goes. It's definitely a lot cheaper just to use black pipe and cold rolled steel to do this. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the top here and show you the wood chips. Now I did have this thing filled up to the top when I started, and right now, don't know if you can see that, I'm kind of holding the camera up there, but it looks like it's about half consumed. So if that holds true, then I'll probably be able to get 3 hours of burn out of this tube here that's about 12 inches long. I'll know more. I'm going to go ahead and let it just cook everything out until it quits smoking and try to get a good time on that. But it looks like every foot of pipe, 4-inch pipe, I get 3 hours of burn. And you can see it's definitely smoking pretty good still. I think I told you before, I tried to run this off of just 1 tube here instead of 2, and it definitely slowed down again way too much. So the 2 output of this pump seems to be just about right, running at full speed. It is variable. By adjusting this here, I can adjust how much air actually comes out of it, but I had it running full steam with just 1 tube, and it slowed the smoke down quite a bit. I was afraid it might want to try to go out again, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the 2 hooked up, and I may put some more teas in here. I'll have to go to the store and get some and see how it does with all 4 hooked into that. I should be able to do that. I don't know how much that's going to increase the tubing. Without having a larger tubing, it's not going to increase the flow a whole lot more. So I think a pump that has 2 outputs on it should be plenty to power this thing. So again, the less air you put through there, the slower it's going to burn, and the longer it'll smoke. But it's got to have enough air going through there that it keeps the embers going and keeps everything smoking. So got to find that happy medium. But right now, looks like 2 is doing a pretty good job wide open.